The story centers on Mark, a former Korean arm wrestler who now works as a bouncer at a club in the United States. One night, his old acquaintance, Kim, approaches him and insists that he competes in an arm wrestling match. Although Mark is not interested, Kim eventually persuades him. They head to an area of the club where people bet on the matches. Mark's opponent has been winning all night, making Mark the underdog. No one wants to bet on him, which turns out to be an advantage for Kim. The match begins and Mark proves why he used to be a professional. The opponent strains hard but cannot move Mark's hand an inch. Without even trying, Mark wins, making Kim a fortune. Conflict arises when the loser refuses to accept defeat, punching Kim, which leads to a fight between Mark and several patrons. Due to the brawl, Mark is fired. A week later, he gets another job as a security guard at a grocery store. He is content with his life, although he sometimes misses home. One day, he receives a call from Kim asking him to come to Korea, where an arm wrestling tournament is about to begin in Seoul, and the winner will compete internationally. Mark looks at his old medals and decides to take the biggest risk of his life. Upon landing in Seoul, Kim picks him up. At a restaurant, they talk business. Kim wants to be Mark's agent and plans to exploit Mark's skill in the betting business to make more money. They spend the rest of the day touring Seoul. Because he has lived in the United States for many years, Mark's Korean is shaky, leading to awkward conversations. At night, they go to a club, but Mark stays in a corner, unconsciously working as a bouncer again. On the way to the hotel, Kim asks him if he has ever wanted to look for his birth mother. It turns out Mark was given up for adoption as a child. Mark says he has no interest in meeting anyone, as all of that is part of the past. Kim drops him off at a love hotel, where Mark experiences a vibrating waterbed for the first time. What really catches his eye is a gift box from Kim with a phone inside. Upon checking it, he finds his birth mother's address. Elsewhere, Kim approaches a millionaire loan shark named Yu and asks him to sponsor Mark. Initially, he is hung upside down for speaking to Yu without permission. But after watching a video of Mark, the gangster agrees to sponsor him. His only condition is that Mark will have to win and lose according to his orders. The next morning, Mark follows the map on his phone to an address. Before knocking on the door, two children approach him. His physique makes them believe he is a beast, so to avoid scaring them, he leaves. The children tell their mother, Soo-mi, about the strange man. The family spies on Mark through the window as he walks away. Soo-mi owns a struggling secondhand store. She owes a lot of money to the gangster Yu, who harasses her whenever he can. That day, at work, she notices Mark and Yu entering a downtown club. Kim has brought Mark to introduce him to sponsors and showcase his skills. We are also introduced to a spoiled rich young man named Chang, Yu's partner, who spends the most money on bets. Mark proves his worth by defeating a bulky Navy man. Thanks to the victory, he and Kim are given a luxury suite in a 5-star hotel. Kim receives a text message from Yu saying that Mark must win tomorrow's first match but lose the second. He fears Mark won't accept the conditions. They go out to dinner and Kim brings up the topic of losing the second match. To his surprise, Mark agrees to do so without protest. The next morning, Soo-mi prepares her children for school. The older one, Ju-hyung, is worried that the big man will come home again. Soo-mi suspects that Mark is someone she knows. After the children leave, she takes out old photos and finds one of her with little Mark and his mother. Outside, the children run into Mark again. The younger one, Joon-hee, is excited, but Jo-hyung threatens to call the police if he sees him again. In the next scene, we are introduced to Combo, Korea's #1 arm wrestling champion. Yu invites him to the club that night to assess Mark's skill. He doesn't want to bet money carelessly until a professional gives him the green light. At night, everyone gathers at the club. Mark faces a 7-foot giant in the first match. He wins with great effort, impressing even the Korean champion. Soo-mi is also in the audience watching Mark. During the break, Yu tries to inappropriately touch her, declaring that he owns her because of the money she owes him. Mark sees this and is not happy. When the second match begins, Mark deliberately wins to spite Yu. When Yu tries to reassert his ownership, he is shoved aside. Kim goes crazy trying to please the boss and Mark at the same time. He realizes that Soo-mi is the reason Mark betrayed him. Filled with rage, he goes to see her to ask about her relationship with Mark. At the same time, Yu arrives and starts assaulting Kim. Mark intervenes, leading to a fight between all of Yu's men and him alone. During the fight, Soo-mi asks Yu to stop his men, only to be pushed to the ground. The commotion stops when the police arrest Mark and Kim. They need Mark's ID to release him, but he lost his bag and passport in the previous fight. The policeman and Mark compete in an arm wrestle, and he proves that he really is an arm wrestler. Still, the man refuses to let him go without proper identification. Just then, Soo-mi arrives at the police station with her children. She has found his passport and has a photo of him and his mother, proving his identity. It is then revealed that Soo-mi is Mark's half-sister and that his mother died a year ago. Mark is heartbroken to hear the news. The family invites Mark and Kim to stay at their house for a few days. The children adore him for his unique personality. Little Joon-hee cuddles up with Mark, while Jo-hyung starts talking to him more often. Outside the house, a group of teenagers are smoking and refuse to leave when Soo-mi asks them to. But when Mark appears, they instantly apologize and flee. The next day, Yu's people come to collect money from Soo-mi and threaten her. At the same time, Mark is about to leave with his belongings, not wanting to be a burden on the family. He chases away the loan sharks, but the thugs make him realize that he should stay with his family to protect them. Over the next few days, they have a lot of fun together. They go to buffets, eat, play, and live like a happy family. Soo-mi found it difficult to manage a business and 2 children alone. Their house is full of disorganized clothes from her business. One day, she returns home and sees that Mark has cleaned everything up. He also takes care of the children so she can focus on work. Meanwhile, Kim is having problems due to lack of money. Seeing Mark with the children, he has an idea and calls a friend at a broadcasting company. He wants to document Mark's life to gain people's sympathy and some money. Mark is skeptical, but agrees. In the next scene, we see Mark and the family out. They run into the Korean arm wrestling champion, Combo, competing with contenders for a charity event. Mark challenges him and wins, surprising everyone. A few weeks later, the story about his hard past, adoption, and arm wrestling struggles is turned into a documentary and televised. The show becomes an instant success and brings them a good amount of money. The children adore their uncle even more. One day, on the way to school, they hear a woman bad-mouthing Mark. In retaliation, Joon-hee declares that her uncle is a champion and makes some promise to win the national championship for her. In the next scene, we are introduced to Kim's father, who is older but works very hard. The only reason Kim is hell-bent on making more money is because he wants to give his father the best life. Returning home that day, Joon-young calls Mark and shows him the emails his mother used to write every day. Mark discovers that his mother's greatest regret in life was giving him up for adoption. Throughout her life, she wrote several emails to an address that was not his, describing how hard life was when he was with her. She couldn't afford to feed him and wanted him to have a better life. Even on her deathbed, all she wished was to meet him and ask for forgiveness. Mark also discovers that Soo-mi is not his half-sister. His mother took her in when she was a child after her parents died. The news shocks Mark, infuriating him at Soo-mi for not telling him the truth. In the following scene, the family heads to Mark's mother's grave. During the trip, he berates Soo-mi for her lies. Mark has decided to return to the United States, leaving them behind forever. Kim tries to stop him, as he hasn't participated in the tournament yet and it's in a week. However, a frustrated Mark accuses him of using his friend for money and leaves. In the following montage, we see Combo practicing for the championship. The gangster Yu has also hired a beast named Kane, a ruthless arm wrestler, famous for breaking every arm he played against. He was arrested a few years ago for using performance-enhancing pills. He also practices, ready to get back in the game. Finally, the day of the tournament arrives. The children are home alone when they realize they forgot to give Mark his medal back. Using this excuse, they get on a bus and head to the stadium to watch him fight. A little while later, Soo-mi receives a call from her friend at the stadium and has to rush to find her children. The competition begins and Kane, Mark, and Combo are placed in 3 different groups. They dominate the matches in their respective groups and reach the semifinals. A ruthless Kane injures many of his opponents and reaches the final. The millionaire investor Chang and his people have bet all their money on Kane. Seeing how well Mark is performing, they are afraid of losing all the money. Therefore, Chang orders Yu to do everything possible to ensure his player's victory. Yu, in turn, offers Kim $200,000 to convince Mark to lose in the semifinals against Combo. Kim accepts the money and goes to tell his friend, but Mark refuses to seal the deal. The money would settle all his debts and fulfill his wishes in life. But even so, it is not worth the promise Mark made to Junhee. Therefore, he fights Combo in an intense match and wins in the end. During the break between matches, Yu catches Kim and proceeds to beat him up. However, the thugs are stopped by Mark. He pushes the gangster to the ground and saves his friend. Kim forgets about the money and asks him to win at all costs. The final match begins and everyone holds their breath to watch it. Kane plays dirty and deliberately makes their hands slip. He also pulls Mark's thumb very hard, slowing him down with every break. The ball seems to be falling on Kane's side, but just then, out of the corner of his eye, Mark sees the children cheering him on. With a renewed interest in proving himself to them, Mark pushes Kane's hand down all at once and defeats him. In the last scene, Mark tells his mother he loves her. On television, he can't help but cry thinking about everything she suffered. The movie ends as everyone celebrates the victory.